This episode is brought to you by Teleperformance. Teleperformance counts with more than 330,000 employees in more than 80 countries. People who improve CX by making each interaction simpler, faster, better, safer, and more cost-effective. You can learn more on teleperformance.com. You are managing people from many different places, but you were born in Brazil, right? Is work at home a common practice in that country?
A friend of mine says work at home won't fly in Brazil because Brazilians are never home. So we are always partying, celebrating something, always outdoors. So how can we work from home if we are never there, right? But jokes apart, I'm very positive about the growing influence and impact of work at home to a country like Brazil. Not only because the model will deliver higher level of labor flexibility and productivity as well, but especially because this is a country with very, very centralized wealth, also massive economic disparities amongst its regions. So I think telecommuting can give a new opportunity to the geographically dispersed labor force, so they can join the workplace and get a better life.
Our guest today is Gesner Filoso, Marketing Vice President at Teleperformance. When not traveling, Gesner is a remote worker himself, and he has been managing virtual teams from across the globe for about a decade. Today, he will share some insights about what he has learned working and managing teams remotely, and also about his own experience supporting other companies adopting the work-at-home model. Born in Brazil, but living abroad for more than a decade, today he oversees a very diverse and successful marketing organization in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I hope you enjoy our conversation. So, Gesner, COVID-19 has impacted the lives of people around the world, changing the daily routines of millions. Can working from home be the new normal as coronavirus spreads?
I think the answer is yes. Millions of workers are being told to work from home as the primary measure of prevention during this outbreak, and this will create a lasting and positive impact to our society. But working from home is not a new trend. Only in the BPO industry, I think more than 42% of companies, if I'm not wrong, count already with work-at-home employees as part of their workplace. And in countries like the US, more than 4 million people are working from home. This is maybe 3% of the total workforce of that country. So the numbers are there already, so this is happening. What we see is more and more companies recognizing the value of the at-home model, and consequently they start promoting a better work and life balance to their people, which makes employees happier and consequently increases productivity, and in many cases also reduces cost. So in short, this is absolutely a model that is here to stay.
Indeed, but some people say working at home could impact the workplace in a negative way. Actually, it was Steve Jobs who was one of the big detractors of working from home. He once said that creativity comes from spontaneous meetings, from random discussions at the office, and
I understand that argument. You run into someone at the office, you ask what they are doing, and soon you're cooking up all sorts of new ideas and solutions to your problems, right? But Jobs himself and his gang helped create the technology that makes working from home better than centralized offices. At Teleperformance, I have members of my team today based in countries like Colombia, Spain, Russia, the Netherlands, Greece, Egypt, Poland, Turkey, Sweden. We live now on the advent of the virtual office, where technology breaks all bounds of physical limitation. So people physically located anywhere in the world can meet, work together, and collaborate. I candidly don't know what Steve Jobs would have thought, right, about work at home today. However, what we can say is that he may have never reached the amount of success he had without constantly adapting. And no other model will deliver a higher level of flexibility and adaptability than work at home.
You've mentioned Teleperformance. What is the actual role of the company in the at-home space?
Well, I'm not here to advertise our company, right? But Teleperformance is today one of the biggest business service companies in the world and the biggest in the work at home space. From our 330,000 employees across the globe, more than 11,000 are working from home already. So we manage at-home services in more than 185 languages, serving clients in all channels and from across the globe. I mean, with voice, video, social media, chat, mail. Just in the past 4 weeks, our company in China has activated almost 500 new home working employees. In Europe, we see the numbers also scaling and scaling very quickly, and the company continues to accelerate the deployment schedule, essentially to support the companies that we work with. So remote work will probably be remembered as the biggest workplace revolution in the recent history, and our company is leading the change. We should also consider that the current outbreak scenario can represent a pivotal moment for home working. Coronavirus won't last forever, but work at home is here to stay. So the ongoing developments will create a long-lasting and positive impact to our society, changing the workplace forever, and, in my humble opinion, for the better.
Beyond the pandemic, there has been indeed a lot of conversation lately about working from home as a way to stay healthy and keep business going as usual. Can you share some tips for working at home, given your experience, who does it so successfully?
So this is a good one. So you're asking me tips for people who are now joining the at-home army, right? Okay, good. So as a remote worker myself, managing virtual teams from across the globe for many years and who happens to love this working style, I do think that I have maybe top 3 recommendations to share. So the first one is discipline. Meaningless things and distractions will always be in your way, at office or at home, by the way. So especially those easy, usual things you would rather do instead of focusing on meaningful projects. So recommendation is simple and clear. Get rid of distractions, stay focused, and execute consistently. The second one is maybe to make sure that you are always connected. There is no reason for you to isolate yourself or to feel isolated. We live in a world where technology breaks all bounds of physical limitation. We have spoken about this before, so you should take advantage of it. And finally, the last recommendation here is to protect yourself from burnout. My recommendation is to have a daily plan, stick to it. Observe yourself to recognize any signs of tiredness and take time to rest. Sounds simple, right? But it's very easy to burn out when you are very motivated and working from home. This is an explosive combination, actually. So you can find yourself working and connected 24/7, which is not good for you, for those around you, and last for your company. So again, protect yourself from burnout.
And for companies adopting the model, any advice?
Well, I usually see companies concerned with security or loss of control over employees and activities. But realistically, those are not issues of the work-at-home model today. I think that they simply reflect the fears and anxieties common among those maybe traveling this road for the first time. The main recommendation I have is not to try to replicate the at-office process as it is. So work at home requires its own carefully crafted approach. So start by building a real sense of community among employees and making work fun and engaging. So companies can achieve that by recruiting the right people, which may also, sound obvious, but think about it, right? So you can now explore the new geographic reach that this model gives you to find the social organized, the self-motivated superstars to join your team. You don't have the same barriers as you faced before. One other important point is to continuously train people in their environment. You can and should support at-home people via video, live chat, mobile, telephone, gamified activities, but 24/7. You must also set clear expectations and establish a culture of trust. Centers of excellence can be pivotal to that end. And as I said before, I think that building a real sense of community should be a priority. We notice that at-home people, they develop an interesting sense of belonging, that they are part of something larger than themselves, which gives meaning to their work. So this enables them to perform at their peak, even during challenging times, like the one that we are living today. So you should promote it and also take advantage of it. I think that those are the main things that comes to mind, thinking about, a new company getting into this space and maybe piloting or even scaling their work at home model today.
This episode is brought to you by Teleperformance. The company delivers customer experience solutions to the most renowned brands of the world. Teleperformance counts with more than 330,000 employees in more than 80 countries. People who improve CX by making each interaction simpler, faster, better, safer, and more cost-effective. You can learn more on teleperformance.com.